Dallas, looking to redeem themselves after seeing a valiant comeback effort end with a 96-91 defeat Thursday in Memphis, the Dallas Mavericks returned to their home floor and tried to quickly atone for their sluggish start to the season. Welcoming in the Philadelphia 76ers, the Mavericks tried to collect their second win of the season Saturday night at American Airlines Center. The Mavs also attempted to get off to a fast start after trailing by as many as 22 during Thursday's loss. But after another slow start, the Mavericks, 1-6, would fall short again to a narrow defeat, suffering a 112-110 loss on their home floor. It's our starting unit. At the beginning of the first quarter and at the beginning of the third quarter we're getting off to slow starts, and it puts the whole team in a deficit, Mavs forward Harrison Barnes said after the loss. I mean, look at the way the second unit was playing with just the plus-minus. All of those guys were contributing and getting us back in the game. But as starters, we can't put ourselves in the deficit. Sticking with a starting lineup of rookie point guard Dennis Smith Jr., swingman Wesley Matthews, Barnes, 13-time All-Star Dirk Nowitzki, and 23-year-old center Nerlens Noel, the Mavericks tried to come out as the aggressors in the opening quarter. Matthews did his part in the early minutes, swishing a pair of three-pointers as the Mavs tried to keep pace with the Sixers' high-octane attack. Smith and Barnes took matters from there with their own three-point makes in the early stage of the quarter. However, with Sixers center Joel Embiid having his way on the offensive end, the visiting Philadelphia squad surged ahead on the scoreboard. The 76ers, 2-4, opened up a double-digit lead from there at 25-14, forcing a timeout by Mavs coach Rick Carlisle with 4:29 left in the first period. And despite a spark off the bench from veteran backup point guard J.J. Barea, the Mavericks trailed by as many as 13 before entering the second stanza in a 32-23 hole. It's such a first-quarter league. At the beginning of the game, the first 6 or 8 minutes really set the tone. And getting up against it really at the beginning of both halves is a tough way to go, Carlisle confessed. Continuing to get a boost from Barea off the bench, the Mavericks tried to charge back into the game during the second quarter. But after the Mavs inched within 5, Sixers forward Dario Saric immediately answered with a three-pointer to keep the home team at bay. However, the 76ers would take a blow after rookie standout Ben Simmons was forced to sit with 3 fouls at the 8:14 mark of the second quarter. Meanwhile, the Mavericks charged within 2 behind Barnes' perimeter shooting. Matthews took matters from there, while putting the Mavericks on top at 54-53. Still, despite 29 combined points from Matthews and Barnes, the Mavericks trailed 57-56 entering the halftime intermission. Led by Matthews' 16 first-half points on 5 of 7 shooting, the Mavericks outshot the Sixers in the first half, a 53.8% to 50%. However, the 76ers owned a 2017 rebounding edge, converting Dallas's 10 turnovers into 13 points at the other end. Starting the second half with a pair of threes from Nowitzki, the Mavericks continued to find themselves in a dogfight as the Sixers countered with their own long-range assault. Barnes and Embiid then exchanged three-point bombs as the two teams remained closely knitted. Reserve guard Yogi Ferrell then began to go to work on the offensive end, joining Barnes and Matthews in double figures in the process. But after former Mav Justin Anderson's three-pointer from the wing, the 76ers held an 86-76 advantage. The Mavericks then looked up to see an 89-78 disadvantage entering the final period. Striking first to start the fourth quarter with back-to-back threes from Barea and Nowitzki, the Mavericks drew to within 5, 89-84, with 11:06 still on the game clock. Meanwhile, Nowitzki moved up the NBA's all-time three-pointers made list, passing Kobe Bryant, 1,827, for 12th place on the historic chart. Barea took matters from there, swishing a fadeaway in the lane to bring the Mavericks within 2, 89-87. The undersized Barea again stepped up after Smith's 7th assist of the night, drilling a three from the top of the key to bring the Mavs within 1. Smith stepped up his aggression a short time later, connecting on back-to-back scores to keep the Mavericks within one at 97-96. But after an 8-0 response by the 76ers, Carlisle was forced to burn a timeout with his team down 105-96 and 4:19 left to play. A thunderous putback slam by Simmons kept the momentum in Philadelphia's favor later in the quarter. The Mavericks refused to go quietly, however, after 3 free throws by Farrell and a tray from Barnes made the margin 107-102. Barnes then tried to keep the Mavs' heartbeat ticking with a pair of three-pointers to sandwich a basket inside from Embiid, making the score 111-110 in Philly's favor with 8.9 seconds left. But after Jared Bayless split a pair of free throws with 6.6 seconds remaining, Farrell raced down the floor and earned a trip to the foul line himself, missing both shots from the charity stripe with .2 ticks left to seal the Mavericks' fate.